AI, and then next thing you know, they suppressing us and fighting.
Right. Yeah. No doubt. All right, let's jump into this Rory from the Rory and Maal show. Used to be on Joe Budden's podcast as well. They launched their own podcast. I think it's been about 4 or 5 years now. 4 years. Joe Budden's basically figured out that decided that he didn't need them no more, or he wanted to put them on salary or whatever. And y'all, you can go research all that. Cool. Rory and Maal, they've been out there. So they did some different hot takes on the Clips and GNX, which is fine to have all of those. But some of those Kendrick fans, they didn't take too much to what it was, because sometimes that show does be doing a lot of hate on Kendrick Lamar. The clips I've always seen the dude Maul hating, and the other sister on the show, I forgot her name. When I was on there. And then Rory's always, you feel like he's always kind of in there, but Rory always, and that's just for a long time, and this is before we could dive into it a little bit and I'll get your opinion on it. I always had like a interesting feeling about him, and I couldn't put my finger on it. I couldn't get the jacket. It's like one of them things of like an FBI agent being like, man, you was wearing Jordans, and it's Jordan footprints outside this home, but it's a lot of people that wear Jordans. All right, I just got to watch you. And one of the main things was, because he's a Kappa, he's a nuke too. At some point, Matt and a couple of my friends are gonna have to explain themselves with him. I know Matt's response. That ain't my damn chapter. That's gonna be. He pledged Kappa Alpha Psi, I believe, at Fairleigh Dickinson University on the East Coast in New Jersey. And it's just, I just can't. And maybe me growing up in St. Louis, we've been around, we can say Wigger, right? Wigger's around here, you know what I'm saying? And other cities have it as well. But there's some genuineness that comes with it. You're like, okay, you just around the neighborhood, you from the north side. I don't know if I necessarily got that from him, but I couldn't necessarily put my finger on it.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't be like, yo. And I'm going to give him credit for something else before I even pass over you. He is the one that was talking about women with the Trey Songz shit. I got to give him credit for that.
Okay.
Because remember, he was the one like, yo, Trey Songz been out. He was one of the first people whistleblowing on that. Now, I don't know what that means. What they say, what you say, like a clock is, right twice a day if it's sitting there wrong. So he comes out, long story short, comes out with tweets. Them Kendrick fans went back and gotten the background, gotten them tweets pulled up from Rory and what he said about black women. Now, we know how the Twitterverse was back in them early aughts. Even though at this point, when this was all going down, D. Fry had already kind of fell back off Twitter. I'm one of the first adopters of Twitter back in 2008. That's when it was a real Wild Wild West. It was like at the OK Corral back then. People were getting blocked by Terry McMillan. Shout out to Stacy, who got Stacy from 90s, who got blocked by Terry McMillan by saying all her characters look like they supposed to be getting beat on.
Marion blocked me. I still don't know why.
See, but that was the Wild. That's 08, 09 at the beginning. That's the real Wild West. These tweets from Rory are 2013, 2016.
Yeah.
But as I pull up these tweets, go ahead and give me your thoughts as I pull up these tweets.
It's honestly, I'm not gonna say it's shocking, right?
It's not shocking. There you go.
Because for me, I'm thinking about Joe Budden and how Joe Budden is, kind of to a certain extent like a little incel-ish, very kind of red pill. That's why I'm just so confused. Like clearly Mark Lamont is on the show because he wants a bag. Because Mark Lamont Hill,
he elevates that show though.
Yeah, I'm like Mark Lamont Hill is the voice of reason, and they're also doing it from a standpoint like because they could do stuff for each other. Like you paying him, and then ultimately y'all hoping that the people that rock with Mark Lamont Hill will tune into the Joe Budden podcast, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's really what that is. Like you're trying to see a jump of your numbers. Your numbers have probably been like stagnant or the same number, which is not bad for Joe Budden, at all, considering, you had one song and that's no shade, but he does really great numbers as far as people that tune into that show. And so when it came out that Rory and Maal had very questionable tweets, I was like, oh yeah, this is not shocking because they rode with Joe Budden. Are we really surprised? And like, even like, this is 2013. Do your black ass mother and grandmother know you don't like black women? And then he retweeted that and said, nope. And they said, y'all all love black women. And he retweeted that in 2014 and said, nah. And then he retweeted another one in 2014. I've never seen a good looking black woman. And then as far as somebody said they did a clip from, I guess, the latest show. And they said Rory and Maal saying that the tweets are and retweets were fake. And they was like, literally, somebody said literally not one tweet was fake. And then they said Joe Budden Podcast react to Rory's resurfaced tweets and Twitter Spaces apology. Rory's 4-hour Spaces rant was a masterclass in how
that was where I could have got actually past the tweets and stuff. It was the clips of me and him in that goddamn Twitter space. Number one, you should never go to Twitter Spaces at all. That's number one if you're trying to implement some hot shit. So that's like, why would you even go there in general? And that's, to me, that's some weirdo shit, because that's the same shit with Clubhouse. People were like, oh, we stopped doing Clubhouse, but now y'all over here doing Twitter Spaces. Fine, whatever. And I'm not talking about for regular people to do Twitter Spaces. I'm talking about if you're got this podcast, discuss it on your podcast. Why are you even going into Twitter Spaces? But he was super condescending those black women. He was super condescending them black women in that bad boy, and he was super like laughing at them and smirking, all kind of shit in there. And I was like, I knew exactly who the fuck you were. Like, I was wanting to let him pass it with them old tweets. It's 10, 12 years ago, whatever. I may think you fucked up for all that, but it's the fact that the way he interacted with those black women and didn't even want to apologize at first until niggas start coming after him. That's when I was like, you got it. You got it. Just because you enter our space don't mean you a part of this space, bro. And that's something, and that's his friends too. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm looking at them noobs that's at Fairleigh Dickinson too, because he learned all this shit from somewhere thinking it was cool in general for somebody. I don't know who it is.
And Mona Love said accountability matters, especially when you benefit from black culture, and Rory should have addressed it on his own platform instead of doubling down in the moment. And that's how I feel. And it's one of those things where when we talk about, because it was so funny is that I actually was going to send you this song that I was listening to on Spotify, so you can look it up on Apple. And it's by hold on, let me pull it up because I sent it to my home where I was like, girl, this song is taking
and not just the noobs too, but as you're looking at them, not just the noobs there, his other friends, all these other somewhere along the line, he thought it was comfortable with because being in our space, being able to talk about black women like that, even in the past. At some point, I don't know who it was. Like as I thought about it, it's not on y'all noobs because I don't know what y'all situation was with him. But I'm talking about the friends. Someone gave him a pass.
Oh, absolutely. But this is when we go back to how people get sick of certain commentary that happens on the internet, and when black people, and more so in particularly black women, when we get online and share the things that are happening to us, the things that people are saying to us, when we be minding our black ass business. And people want to discredit or say we're over, like we're exaggerating, and that it's not true. And it's like
so. Let me full disclosure. I don't think that brother's racist. I'll say that. I'll say he's tone deaf, one, and he may have some little bit of bigotry in him as well.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
He's too comfortable in our house. And that's on us.
But that goes back to so when we talk about
we'll always let people get too comfortable.
But this is what happens when we allow non-black people to infiltrate our spaces, because a Tupac song, or you grew up listening to Wu-Tang and De La Soul or whatever, right? And so it's like, oh, that cat cool, and then they get real comfortable and like This also lets me know that he's comfortable enough where I know this nigga say the N-word. I ain't even gonna hold you. He says nigga. He says nigga.
I was wondering that.
No, I remember being in high school and it was this one dude, and I remember this dude, Christian, said, I can't fuck with old dude because he was listening to something and that nigga's low. He said that white boy clean out said nigga. And I turned that shit on. So we trying to like tell him he can't say it. And he's like, but it's in the no, nigga, I don't give a fuck if it was written in the sky. You cannot, no, we're not comfortable with you saying that, because next thing you know, you turn around and saying that shit and you say nigga to me. Or you gonna call your girlfriend a nigga bitch. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is really
and
weird.
He's married to a black woman too, and he's got a
which
black
is shocking considering, and like you said,
it's not shocking. That's not shocking. Strom Thurmond got a black kid.
No, I'm not saying no. I said that's shocking to me based on what I'm seeing. If I'm seeing these tweets that like, oh, we don't like black women. Nope. I don't let people know. Nope. Like, it's like when I meet, like if I'm dating interracially. Mm-hmm. I've had experience. Like I always ask, "Hey, do you have you experienced dating black women before?" Blah 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 blah. And one guy, he was like, "I always had an affinity. I always found black women attractive, but I never dated them until my parents died."
Damn.
Do you know how crazy that is? And you really think you about to get some coochie? No, you're not. But you know what I'm about to do? Run up the tab. I have to do this for my ancestors, okay? Because you sound dumb as hell.
This is a little bit of reparations, not
a little bit.
It ain't nothing to be excited about. Just a little bit. But I mean, I just think that overall, like people gotta, I mean, and this has been an age-old tale. This has been going on forever and ever, man. Where we've been letting people into our house when it comes to our culture, and let's not take it. I'm not gonna even put it on all white people that's in the culture. There's some white people that accept and love black culture, and they know that these are certain boundaries that I cannot cross, and I respect those people that for all those different things, for all that But yeah, I always had a little suspicion about him, and we never even talked about them on this. Oh no, we did talk about them before. I think then we talked about when we first started when they got kicked off Joe Budden podcast. I think we talked about Rory.
No, you didn't talk about that here.
I
think about it.
I have to,
but because I think about
in general, because I really don't like to talk about other podcasts like that in general, because we all in the kind of same field. We all trying to get our content.
And to be honest, we have content that's way better, but that's fine. Look, y'all sleeping, but when y'all wake up.
All right. So
there's something I want to say. I want to say this. Like you said, this is a tale as old as time. I wasn't aware that he got on Spaces.
Yeah,
I didn't see anything about that coming on.
Yeah, I listened to it. Yeah, and shout out to Deleted. It's this dude everybody need to go check out called Deleted. He's got like brackets in his name. Deleted the villain. Hey man, first of all, he's got the thing called the pack outs where he just go in on somebody, right? Mm-hmm. And at the beginning of it, I guess he jumped into the Twitter Spaces. And then Rory goes, "Oh, here comes the deleted guy. That's this, insecure stuff. I guess he's gonna do a video on me." And he was like, "Nigga, I wasn't even thinking about doing one. Now I am." And you gotta go peep him. But he does funny videos in general. They're funny comedy videos. But on this one he did was pretty good, man. So I want to give a shout out to Deleted, man. That was dope. Deleted.
Okay, I have to check that out. But yeah. I think also it's like, I think my conversation with Black people is, I know we are big on community, but we need to be big on community with each other versus allowing other people to come in and kind of navigate and narrate those spaces for us. And y'all want everybody to be cool and be so welcoming, and we be so open armed about it. Like, we don't necessarily have to be that way, because other cultures, when I think about it, and it's not prejudice or anything, it's just like, that's just the reality. Like, everybody else are not so welcoming and open to us, and they're only like that with us because they know it's something they can get out of us. And so now we've made you money and you said something crazy, and where people was able to be to come back at you, and just and I'm not the biggest fan of cancel culture, because they did that to Kayla Nicole, the girl that used to go out with Travis, not Travis Scott.
I mean, we got to keep the same energy though. She was wilding in the tweets too.
She was wilding, but it was like not on some like I hate, white people type shit.
Talking about some black hate. She had some black hate on there too.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, but not on some like I hate white people. She said some crazy stuff about, but also like how young she was. But like, but that be my thing. Is like, do we allow people space and time to grow?
Right. No, I agree. But like the way Rory acted in that spaces and he didn't apologize. Like,
I don't know. When you say when you hate black women, I don't know. Like, I know that.
No. I'm saying that the fact that he was being smug and trying to troll those people and laughing at them and sniggling and not listening to those people. If you want to jump in those spaces and he wasn't being sincere and being like, yo, my bad, man. I was on some bullshit. I apologize, yo.
Yeah.
Even if he didn't fucking mean it, be smarter at least to do that. That's how you know he didn't give a fuck.
But like I said, for me, if when people say certain stuff, I'm just always mindful of it. And I'm just always looking at them crazy. For me, it's about black people got to tighten up shit, and we have to start figuring out ways to move and shake in like with our people, because this always fucking happens. Or like we said, are we shocked? Are we surprised? Like you grow with Joe Budden, who talked about jacking off his dog. You know what I mean? Like, so you roll with somebody that's weird anyway, and so I'll be looking at everybody in the circle kind of funny, you know what I mean? And it's like, okay, what do y'all get from this? And it's just like I said, it's certain people, when you look at the history of certain things and certain behavior and how certain people align themselves, it lines up. So this was just a clock that was just ticking and it was waiting to happen, and the dog had his day. And I say, y'all need to go listen to Sexy Sulan by Mona Leo. Because she say, this bitch gonna say, all the non-blacks to the back. And it's so funny. The song is hella funny. But then she's like, talk about like, no, y'all can't come to the cookout. You need to be standing in the street as the lookout. Like, it's so funny. But but we talk about that all the time. And we talk about what's, segregation, integration. How have we really benefited from it? And there's certain things that we have, but when it comes to like this day and age, if the question is, have things really changed? Like, this shit is really chaotic. And it's like, it's always been chaotic. It's just the fact that we have social media now to bring attention to it. All these motherfucking crackers and all that shit been crazy. They have been.
Hey y'all, if you like what you see here on Everyone Needs an Aquarius, be sure to hit that button right there. It'll take you to more clips, and be sure to like, subscribe, and share our podcast. See you back next time.